rotating your phone. Try another way of going live during your broadcast. What?
Okay, well, I'm live. I think I'm live. You have to push the live button.
It's saying you're live. Katie's watching. Wave at Katie. Why am I not watching?
Katie, is that you? Call Katie. You have to rotate the camera up. Am I sideways?
You're on. He can hear you.
Yeah.
But you're not upright. You
Sideways. Sideways, huh? Okay.
Thank you.
So I'm going to rotate the phone.
Thank you.
Go to your right.
To my right. Okay.
The camera, rotate the camera to your right. You see what happens.
How's that, Mary?
Yes, go to right. Go a little more, Okay, that looks about right. Let me see. No, not quite. Go a little more. Yeah, a little more. Okay, that's about it.
That better?
Yep.
Okay.
It's narrow, but it's better.
Okay. Thank you.
Wow.
Bye.
Well, we're going to figure this out.
Yes. Let him what?
That's better. But it's narrow. It's narrow, but it's correct.
Okay. Thanks.
Well, here we are. The first home production of Open at the Top. Wednesday night service. So this is what we do when we come into the sanctuary normally. We show our willingness to be open to the top by lifting up our hands. And so if you lift up your hands kind of like you would if you were signaling a touchdown, and what that's doing is just allowing us to receive the good that comes from spirit, from that which is the producer of all good, that which is the creator of all things, that which is the singular source for each and every one of us. So we do that. We do that every Wednesday night, Open at the Top. So Ernest Holmes thought that Open at the Top was about making certain that we had room for new ideas. So he knew that the world was going to change, and each year, each moment, even after he was gone, things were going to change. And so he thought that Open at the Top was a way to express how we should be, which is always open to brand new things. So anyway, here we are at Open at the Top. And I want to thank some of the people that are here. By the way, down and back over there, down and back. There really are just three of us, and that's including the dog. And the dog, though, is excited about this because he's never seen me as a TV star, and so he asked me for my autograph, which I was extremely happy about because nobody ever does that, but he did. And then Jackie is our tech person. So Jackie's here as the audience, and she's going to come on in and clap when necessary and laugh when necessary. And so we get all the sound effects in. So we're excited about being able to do this. The new technology that we have embraced is a learning curve for us, and I think it's a learning curve for a lot of people. And that's a good thing. I think that what we do is sometimes say, I don't do that. I don't know how to do it, and I just don't see the necessity of learning how to do it. Well, now we have the necessity. We can be together without being in the same room. And I know that's true because I've been doing that all day. See, I have this position where a lot of people rely on me to be there and to talk to and to be a listener when things aren't going well or when things are going well. And sometimes we meet in larger groups and talk about things that matter. And I've been doing that all day. So I have new Zoom technology. I've become a Zoom wizard. I've been Skyping. I Skyped last night, and now my first Facebook Live. So this is very, very cool. I feel like I've grown. I'm evolving, and that's really neat. So why don't we start with a spiritual mind treatment, which for those of you who don't know is an affirmative prayer. And we're going to just relax in the space that we're in. Take a deep breath. And release it. Take another deep breath. And release it. And please know with me that God is present right here and right now, wherever you are. God is present, for God is present everywhere, always, in full measure. And I know that each of us is united with this presence. We are united because we are that which God is. We're simply made out of the stuff that God is. God simply makes things out of itself. And so we know that we are connected, absolutely connected. And our job at this moment is to be in alignment with that which God is, to be in alignment with that presence, to be conscious of that presence. And so we bring ourselves into conscious awareness of that presence right now. We can feel, if we will, the air on our palms, and we can wiggle our fingers and recognize that we're alive. We're alive with the Spirit of God. We are filled with the love of God. And we emanate the warmth of this absolute, perfect, singular source. And so I'm so pleased to be able to see this congregation, this group of people move into a space where there's a connection, where we can share, where we can be absolutely unified in a way that is magnificent. So it's with great thanksgiving that we release these words into the law of mind with the absolute knowing that as our faith guides us, so it is done. And together we say, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you. So what I'd like to do is start by playing something. We oftentimes start with music, and I think I'll do that. So I got my guitar here. I'm going to play a song I wrote, and this is a simple one for me, so I like to do the simple ones because the hard ones are hard. So here we go. I hear you, I see you, I feel you, I am you. No distance, no longing, a new day is dawning. Get used to the feeling of love and belonging. You're home, you're home. Leave judgment behind you. Love heals you hope guides you, begin to see clearly. God's love holds you dearly. The word is your blessing. Speak kindly and surely. You're home. You're home. There's so much we can do to help each other move through this expression of life. Please remind me to say each and every day, this too is good. This too is good. I hear you, I see you, I feel you, Lord, I am you. No distance, no longing, a new day is dawning. Get used to the feeling of love and belonging. You're home. You're home. Yay! And the crowd goes crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Woohoo!
So, you know, we probably wouldn't have had this opportunity had it not been for this coronavirus thing, you know, the thing that's keeping us indoors and allowing us to be good stewards of the planet. Because if we do these kinds of things where we actually sacrifice to some degree for others who may be a little bit more vulnerable to this, we can feel that we're being of service. And this is really a way of being of service. And I applaud that. I really, really do. I think that it's a little bit inconvenient to be tucked away in our houses, to be places where others, you know, can't congregate or shouldn't congregate. You know what? It's time for us to do this, and it's important for us to do this because the well-being of the planet, of each and every one of us, is at stake. So I'm of the opinion, by the way, and I'll just say this, that if you could help somebody and make sure that you're keeping others safe, why not do it? You know, and if you could keep yourself safe in the bargain, why not do it? If you can, you know, look both ways before you cross the street so you don't get hit by a car, why not do it? You know, if you can drive the speed limit or, you know, stay within your lane and pay attention while you're on the road, not text and do all the things that could get you in trouble on the road, why not do it? Why not be a citizen of the world that cares about others? I really believe that this is our chance to be that and know that we're being that. So it's an opportunity. And I'm going to talk about opportunities because I think it's a great way of looking at what it is we're going through right now. But I want to share a little story. My mother was a satsangi. She was a devotee of Radhaswami Satsang Bees, which is a science of the soul, and it began in India, and she had a Sat Guru. She was a seeker, and she found this through a friend of hers who gave her some literature, gave her some books, and she became a follower of Sharan Singh Ji, Maharishi Sharan Singh Ji. He was her guide, her mentor. They call him the master of the individuals that he mentored. And so Maharishi Sharan Singh Ji was out in the LA area when I was a kid. I mean, I might have been 12, maybe 13 years old, and my mom asked me if I wanted to go. Now, mind you, this whole experience of her being a devotee of Radhaswami was difficult because that made her a vegetarian. She didn't eat eggs either, and she was the cook in the house. So when I was young, I was a vegetarian too, and it was really weird because my diet was affected not only at home but at school. And you know how kids used to take lunches and trade sandwiches and, you know, say, this is what I got today and this is what I got today. And I was sent each day with a raisin and nut sandwich on this bread that looked like somebody had pulled stalks out of a wheat field and just stuck it together, and a carrot and a turnip. I don't know if you've ever eaten a raw turnip, but I had one every day. So I would empty my lunch on the table to see if anybody wanted to trade, and never did anybody want to trade. Of course, they had the typical stuff, you know, the bologna sandwich on Wonder Bread with mustard, and it looked pretty doggone good to me because I was stuck with a raisin in that sandwich. But you know, I love that kind of food today, even though I was a little bit disheartened by it back then. But I was interested much more in the philosophy that my mom was engaged in than the diet that was required by it. So I went with her. And I remember distinctly somebody asking a question during question and answer time. And here he was, this guy with a turban on and an accent, an Indian accent with an amazing presence about him, who was sharing his wisdom with everybody. Somebody asked this question: are we all going to die? And of course he laughed. I mean, he laughed in a way that got everybody else laughing too. He said, of course we're all going to die, but I think you mean, are we all going to die like at one time? Like, is the earth going to explode or the universe implode upon itself? And so he kind of chuckled at that, and he said, well, if that happens, he said, I don't know, but if it happens, why worry? Because whatever, if that happens, we'll all be together. We're all going to be together, so don't worry. And I found that comforting. I mean, that's something that I've remembered, you know, for 50 some odd years. That phrase, we're all going to be together, I remember for all of these years. And so I really appreciated what I learned from my mother. But I've learned something else too. The thing that I really learned from her was that she was always looking for something outside herself to fix her. And so when she said she was a seeker, what that meant was she was looking for the secret. She was looking for that thing on the outside that could fix her. And what I've learned through my journey, and I don't know if I would have learned this through my journey had I known what she knew back then with her Maharishi, but I know that we're not lacking anything. We just must recognize it within ourselves. So whatever we're looking for on the outside is already in us. It's already within us. It's already available to us. You know, our interiors contain all of that which is necessary for us to not only thrive and survive, but to know, and then to do, and ultimately to be. So, yeah, all of that is kind of rushing through my head today, because there is something that is, I think, in need of healing in our world, you know, and it might be that we were just rushing around and not paying attention to each other enough. You know, it might be that we have, you know, lost our way in, you know, with respect to how we handle our own lives. And so I look at this as an opportunity to spend some time and find our way. This is an opportunity to embrace the things we'd always wanted to do. You know, I mean, I remember saying, I am so busy, I don't have time to do the things I want to do. And somebody would say to me, well, what do you want to do? And I'd say, well, I'd really like to have some time to myself. I'd really like to sit back and spend time in meditation and write and work on my spiritual toolkit and just, you know, connect and align with God. Hey, here I am. It's time to do that, you know. This is where I am today. So this problem of, you know, being seemingly separate from others allows me to work on these things I've always wanted to work on, so that I know I'm never separate. Isn't that amazing? So my separation from some of the things that I'm used to is really the process of recognizing and knowing that I'm never separate. And that is so, so cool. So I went to a conference. I was a main speaker at a conference not long ago. And there was this guy who was also a speaker at the conference, and he seemed like a regular guy. I mean, he was really cool. Just a regular old guy. His name was Sam Beasley. And when I finished my talk at the conference, he came up to me and said he really enjoyed it. And he said, I would like to give you my book. And he did. He gave me his book, and he signed it for me. And he says in this book, it's so much easier with prayer. Prayer, breathe. Prayer, breathe. Repeat. And he signed this book, Sam. So it's entitled, Your Life is Your Prayer. And in it, he has not only prayers that he's written and some of his own experiences about it, but he also has little sayings that he's picked up over the years. Some of them are unknown authors. Some of them say anonymous. Some of them are written by him. Some are written by others. And there's this one page that I turned to today that is just so apropos. You know, I just opened the book, flopped the book open, and there it was, How to Deal with Change. How to deal with change. The first thing that is listed as to how to deal with change is create new possibilities. And you know, that's kind of what I'm talking about right now, creating new possibilities, creating a new way of being in this moment where everything seems to have changed. You know, stepping into this moment with the idea that we can do this, you know, that I can learn new technology, that we can communicate in different ways, that we can still have a warm and vibrant and loving and wonderful community, even though, you know, we're not hugging each other right here. And by the way, you know, consider this right here, this hug that I'm giving you to be yours. Feel it, know it, and it's coming from the heart. So we're connected, still connected. And I think that the change that we're in the middle of right now is creating new possibilities right here and right now. And here's something else I know. I know from science, from my own journey into science, that this creation of new possibilities and then stepping out onto a limb and getting involved in new things actually creates new neuronal pathways so that new brain cells are formed. And it actually creates the ability for us to get exactly where we want to go. And if we want to become more adept at you know, let's say communicating virtually, then these new neuronal pathways will be formed to allow us to do it. So we just step in knowing that we can, because that is absolutely the truth. Now, the interesting thing about that is that it tracks so well with the science of mind. You know, it's done unto you as you believe. It tracks so well with that. But, you know, Ernest Holmes, when he wrote the textbook, he didn't know that our brain could create new neurons and new neuronal pathways. I mean, all he knew was that we were creating according to our belief, according to our faith, which is absolutely the truth, but it's true physiologically. It's not necessarily only true in metaphysics. It's true physiologically. So creating new possibilities is the first one on this how to deal with change. So now here's what you do. You harness all your skills, talent, creativity, and resourcefulness and step into it. So I believe that we have incredible resourcefulness. And one of the things we can do to alleviate fear is to rely on that resourcefulness. So we might be afraid of something that we have to do, something we have to present, or the next day that we have to live. Especially in these times, we might be afraid. But our resourcefulness allows us to prepare in ways that really, really make sense for us. So, you know, if we need something, we get it. We make sure that we have it. If we need a connection with somebody so that we know that we're safe in difficult times, we make that connection now. You know, we set forth the plan now. We make sure that we start to learn how to deal with new technology that's going to make us safe. So we prepare. You know, we prepare for the things that are happening today. And I know that a lot of places are handing out hand sanitizer, and that's wonderful stuff. It really is good. And it is probably the necessary thing to do if you're going to be together. The question of whether or not we should be together at this point in time is a really interesting science question too. And I'll leave it to the experts regarding that, but I know that from what I've read, what I've heard, and what I've seen, that even though we don't have any symptoms, we can be a carrier. And I would never want to carry this to a loved one, somebody that I care about so deeply. I would never, ever want to unwittingly change somebody's life or the family's life forever. And so I put up with the inconvenience today, and I rely on my resourcefulness, like this book says, in order to get the things done that I need to get done. So the next little element that we are to look at is we accept and acknowledge what is. You know, I love that, because what it does is help me to recognize some of the things that Eckhart Tolle says that are sometimes difficult to understand when he says we got to live in the now. Well, you know, you can't be in denial of the present moment. You have to accept and recognize what is and not be in denial of it, saying it doesn't exist. You know, this is not real. I'm going to act as if it's not there. That's a sense of denial that does not allow us the acceptance that's necessary to move into it and really become as resourceful as we need to become. So that's an absolutely magnificent way to be, to accept and acknowledge what is, and to accept and acknowledge help from others. So we like to think that we are an island and we're able to handle anything, but that's really not true. And we are much better with the help and love from others. Not only do we need their love, but we need to give love. And it's a wonderful opportunity for us to practice the law of circulation. You give your love, I give it right back to you. You give your hope, I give it right back to you. You give your faith, I give it right back to you. You know, we circulate everything that we have in these moments and make sure that everything that's important to us continues to thrive, continues to survive, and continues to be able to bring the goodness that's necessary. So here's the next one. Navigate the currents of your shifting emotions. So this is the reason why I like this, because it says that your emotions are going to shift, that they're going to be good times, they're going to be difficult times, that you're going to go through a roller coaster of emotions, and that's quite all right. So navigating the currents of your shifting emotions kind of requires that you align yourself with the motion of the currents. So just like the song says, row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Not upstream, row it gently down the stream. You go with the flow, you go with the current and not against it. And so when somebody says, do this or do that, and it's inconvenient, I say, okay, I'll do it. You know, if I need to do that, that's exactly what I'll do. Saying that I won't and jumping out and just doing whatever it is that I want to do, even if it endangers others, is going absolutely against the flow. And so the next thing that we deal with in making sure that change happens in an appropriate way is we give ourselves credit for how far we've gone, how far we've come, for what it is that we've been able to accomplish, and how it is that we step into this with the faith and belief and trust that's necessary. And so give yourselves credit. Give yourselves credit for the things that you've learned so far. Give yourselves credit for the acceptance that you've been able to recognize and know and become a part of thus far. So that's how change happens, and we're in the midst of it right now. We're in big time change. How about you, Jackie? Do you feel the change?
I feel it. I feel it.
Yeah, and so this change can be either a curse for you if you want to fight it, if you want to try and swim upstream, or it can be a blessing for you. It can be a problem if you want to fight it, or it can be an opportunity. And so I prefer that it be an opportunity, and I'm looking at it as that. I'm looking at it as an opportunity to be all that I can be, and to be there for people who might need to be all that they can be too. So I want to learn from you. I want to also be able to nail these ideas around change deeply. And the way I want to do that is I want to do a little meditation. And I got a little gong here, and I'm gonna ding the gong, and this is gonna give us an opportunity to breathe deeply. 3 deep breaths. I want you to pay attention to your breath as you breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. You can hear the breath as you inhale and as you exhale. It becomes like a mantra in your head. And you just relax into it. And listen to these words. I know that we are divinely protected, for we are an expression of that divinity. For we are that divinity in form. We cannot be separated from the divine. We cannot be separated from this all-encompassing spirit, this all-encompassing love, this all-encompassing God. We are that which God is. We're unified. Not only physically, not only are the little pieces that which God is, but so is our interior space, our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions. That space where we grow, where we allow ourselves to move forward so that we can outpicture in more dynamic ways. We are dynamic God stuff, and we're so pleased that that is the case. We need to only take a moment to recognize that and connect with it, align with it, in order to feel that safety, that sense of belonging, that sense of connectedness. I feel the harmony of this group right now, right here and right now, in this moment. I feel the alignment and connection with Spirit, and it is love. It's a deep sense of love and gratitude for all that we have, for the opportunities we're given, for this next new experience, for the ability to reach out and connect with people in ways we've never known before, for the ability to grow and for the demand to set forth new neuronal pathways that allow us to open up and be, for the new neuronal pathways that allow us to become everything we need to be in order to make this an amazing experience. And so it's with great gratitude that I release these words into the law of mind, knowing that they're already done. Please join me by saying, and so it is.
And so it is.
Well, it's been a wonderful time tonight. I want to thank you by giving you a hand. So let me know if you liked it. Let me know if there's something you want me to talk about. You guys know how to get a hold of me. It's easy to do, and know that I love you. So we're going not so live now. If you want to watch this again or you want to send it to somebody, please do. You can always send it off to your entire list of people on Facebook, or you can send it to just friends that you don't have on Facebook. Just circulate this far and wide so that people know that there's a space to connect every Wednesday at 7 p.m. And we are open at the top. Thank you.